Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Study with Buddy after a long break. Okay, so let's start today's video without any much delay. So we are back with a new version of Biology Flower Part 2. Okay, so let's start once again and let's again recall what the main features of the flowers are. So here is you can see a image of a common flower, and its main parts are anther, filament, petals, sepals, ovary, style, stigma. More distinguished, these flowers like anther and filaments, these two parts are more distinguished, or these are the parts of one part, that is stamen. And stigma, style, ovary, these three parts are more distinguished, or these three parts are the parts of one main part called as pistil. Stamen and pistil are the male and the female parts respectively of the flower. That is, stamen is the male part and carpel is the female part. Okay, so now for the further without doing any further discussion on these parts, let's move next, that is perianth. So perianth is a kind of flower which contains sepal plus petals, means which consists of both sepal and petals in a combined structure. Okay, and these are called as tepals together and collectively called as perianth. Sepal plus petal, here in this image you can also see sepal plus petal gives tepal, and which are many tepals are collectively called as perianth. Now perianth, when in some flowers perianth may be green like the sepals, or perianth may be non-green like petals. So when the perianth is green, these are called as sepaloid, and when the perianth is non-green, it is called as petaloid. Such as here in this flower you can see the perianth is a green-like structure, so it is called as sepaloid. And when the perianth is very beautiful or petal-like structure, it is called as petaloid. Okay, next, then coming back to our topic, bract. Bract is a flower. That means if we are to define bract, we define it as when a flower arises in the axil of a leaf-like structure, then this structure is known as bract. Bracts may be green like ordinary leaves, or at times they are colored. And large and colorful bracts of bougainvillea. Here the bougainvillea flower is shown. So here you can see the bracts arise in the axil of the leaf-like structure, and they are green also from the down, and they are colored also. Okay, and this is the flower of bougainvillea. And sometimes you might wonder that bougainvillea is also sometimes easily mistaken as a petal. Okay, so the actual flower in this case is small and somewhat cylindrical and attached to the inner side of the bract. Okay, I hope you understand. Then next is nectaries. Nectaries, here is shown nasturtium, a flower who is cut medially to show the nectary contain a clear liquid nectar at the bottom, and this nectar is absorbed by the bees and other insects to do the pollination, that we will study further in our video in next part. So again, to define nectaries, that most flower produce a sweet fragrant liquid called nectar, and group of nectar secreting cells are called as nectaries, and they usually situated at the base of the pistil or the bases of the petals. Here you can see, and in this image it can really very a good image we can see that can identify what are nectaries. Coming back to a next topic, that is general description of the flower parts, and from where we have to start our topic for the today. So calyx. In a calyx we can see that in a few cases the sepals may be free or polysepalous, or fused called gamosepalous, such that in this image you can see a flower in which sepals are free, means they are free and they are not combined together, that is called as means they are forming a leaf-like structure, not bilobed in a group, means not combined in a group. That is called as polysepalous. And when few sepals are there, when they are combined together to form a group, like in B and C image, you can see there is a thick layer of sepals. These are combined together to form one thick layer. And in C image also, you can see they are also thickened at the bottom level, and they also form us. And these are gamosepalous, means they are fused together. They are combined together with each other. And polysepalous, they are free. Okay, so so in this image, polysepalous and gamosepalous, which are the parts of calyx, and we have discussed. And here in this image, we can identify the calyx easily. That is, the broader part which you can see in this image mentioned with the blue color is a calyx. Okay, and mentioned is a calyx. Then coming now, then some of the main functions which we are to mention of the calyx is that under calyx the category such as sepal comes. Okay, so sepal used to protect the young flower bud, and when green they also perform photosynthesis. Okay, so here the sepals are green like structure, so they may perform also photosynthesis, and here also they are green like structure, so they may also perform photosynthesis. And sometimes in hibiscus flower we can observe that sepals are of second series of sepals are there, which are called as episepalous or epicalyx. So sorry that not shown the image, but you must understand that in hibiscus flower is the exception, which has second series of sepals called as epicalyx. Now, and in gulmohar flower also there is a petaloid sepals. Okay, so these are the two exceptions. Then next coming back to next coming going to topic anther and filament, which are the parts of stamens or androecium. That is which are the parts of male part of the flower. Okay, and so here we can see anther is the quite bilobed structure, and filament is a thin stick like structure which is found in a flower. And if we are to define, means give a full explanation, the number of stamens in different flowers may vary from a few to a large number. Each stamen consists of a long filament and an anther attached to its extremity. Okay, so means extremity means I think you understand that in the ending part of a flower, that is the uppermost part of the flower, where the flower is an extreme part of the flower is there. There are filaments and anthers and filament are attached. Anthers first, and then the filaments. Okay, and filaments are fully attached to the flower, while the anther float in the air. Okay, each lobe has two pollen sacs. Okay, and the anther is usually two lobed, and each lobe has two pollen sacs. Okay, and with the pollen sacs are contained pollen grains. I hope you all know that pollen grains are the grains are located in pollen sac, and these grains are carried off by the for the pollination, that we will study in the next part of this chapter. Okay, and so when fully matured, means when the pollen sacs are contain pollen grains, as I told the right, then when pollen grains are fully mature, the pollen sacs ruptures or burst means they burst to liberate pollen grains, and the pollen grains are generally powdered. And if we are to find pollen grains are generally powdery substances, the powdery particles of different shapes and sizes. Okay, now again in this structure we can readily define this, that anther and filaments, the and parts of androecium. Anther is a bilobed structure, filament is stick like structure. Okay, and here on the above part of the anther there are pollen sacs, and pollen sacs, that is the pollen grain, and in pollen grains sometimes the pollen sacs rupture to liberate pollen grains, that is a powdery particle present in it. Now coming back to next topic, again we will get this whole structure. that is we get the whole structure of the flower, that is style, stigma, ovary, ovule, anther, filament, stamens, receptacle, and sepal. I am to mention this part because in order to know what are the main parts till now we have studied. Okay, so another now we have studied just now is anther and filaments. So here you can see that the extremity, the anther and filaments are present, which are the parts of stamen or the male parts. Okay, and here the anther we can see, and pollen sacs also, which contains the pollen grains, small powdery particles, and here we can see the filament or the stalk. And now next coming to next further division of this topic, and androecium stamens may be free, again like calyx. In androecium stamens may be free, called as polyandrous, as in petunia flower. And here the stamens are free and are joined together to form a single, double, or several groups. Okay, so fused stamens here we can see, and here fused stamens example you can see such a thin layer, they are combined to form a thin layer, and free stamen are such that this one alone one this stick like stick like freely flowing stamen in the air. It is a free stamen we can see, and fused stamen means they are combined together at the bottom, they are combined together and they are not free enough to grow anywhere. Okay. Okay, now coming to some more uh, cohesion or joining of stamens, there are several groups like diadelphous, and in diadelphous the stamens are united into two bundles. Means I think you all know di means two, so diadelphous stamens are united into two bundles by fusion of their filaments, and anther being free means anther remains free. Upper part you can see anther are free again, and these are united in two bundles. One is free and one is combined, so two bundles are free, and means two bundles are formed. Example, this is the example of P, and that was the example of monoecious. Okay, monoecious means stamens are united in one bundle, means one, here you can one stem fuse the stamen you can see, so that is example of monoecious. And this is bombax, which is an example of polyadelphous, means the filaments are united in several groups. Here you can see filaments and anther both are in several groups, and they all are free. Free too means they are united also, and the upper part is free, like stamen the upper anther part is free. So these are, for example, is bombax. Okay, in bombax usually we can see the polyadelphous property of the androecium. Here also we are to define the structure in matlab we can see that from the, if we are to define the structure, the upper part, these are united into four groups, and these are combined in four groups, and upper parts are united, and he means like this we can define this polydelphous. Okay, I means free anthers are there and they are united filament in many bundles. Bundles word we can correctly inform this, and united filaments in many bundles, and this is the central ovary which we will further study then. And now coming to one next topic, that is gynoecium. Gynoecium is also known as pistil. Okay, so in previously mentioned, gynoecium is also called as a pistil, and which has mainly three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. So in this also we can see, here you can see that stigma is a terminal knob-like structure or a part. It may be divided into two or more lobes and may assume a feathery appearance. Okay, and sometimes there's a feathery like appearance, means they float in air, and means they are still attached to the flower from the base, but they can flow in air, they are feathery. Okay, and this stigma is covered with hair or with glandular papillae. Okay, and glandular papillae means juicy like substances. Okay, and it serves as a landing, as the it is attached with the glandular papillae because it serves as the landing site for the pollen during pollination. इसके next है style. Style is the tubular. Next is the style. Style is the tubular spindle stalk which connects the stigma to the ovary. Means here we can see that stigma has a glandular papillae because of the landing site. So means it has a juice like substance, so that birds can come, means insects can come and can do pollination. And stigma is tubular spindle like stalk which connects stigma to the ovary it's a simple function. And ovary is a swollen basal portion. Swollen means this uh, thickened basin structure in the inner cavity of the ovary may be very single chamber divided into several chambers or called as locules. In this, these small parts are present called as locules, and placenta attaches the ovule to the walls of the ovary. Okay, here one walls means a thick structure called as placenta attaches the ovule to the ovary walls of the ovary. And here also mentioned thalamus is not that much difficult. It is the only the base of the flower. So here we can again we can define that monoecious plant and dioecious plant, and the previously one as the monoadelphous, diadelphous, polydelphous we have mentioned previously, but now going to mention monoecious plant and dioecious plant. Monoecious plants are, mono means one and oecium means house. Okay, this is the one important thing, that the male and female parts grow on the same plant. Here you can see monoecious plant, male part, I think you know the symbol. We can see male part is the symbol of this circle with arrow, means blue symbol, and red symbol is the female part, means both the parts live on the same plant. And dioecious plant, one plant is reserved for the one means stalk, leaf stalk is reserved for the male part and one for the female part. Then again we have to define dioecious plant. Male plant and female plant are different means they are not on going on the same plant. And bisexual or hermaphrodite plant in which both male and female parts are present. And in monoecious plant mean both male and female parts are in a plant are true or fourth means some is means sometimes in some plants female parts is in front, or sometimes in male parts are in front, sometimes somewhat like that kind we can define it as monoecious and dioecious. Okay, then coming to back to our own topic, placenta. Here you can see that it attaches the ovule to the walls of the ovary. Here you can see that this is a medium, pink color medium, that attaches the ovule to the walls of the ovary. Inside there is an ovary. Okay, so plant placenta, here also ovule to the ovary. We can see this is green color, dark green color part is ovary, and then this is ovule inside, and then it attaches the ovule to the walls of the ovary. In this plant, in this tomato also we can mention the placenta. And locule I think mentioned I have locules, that is rounded body is called as locules. And here you can sandy colored parts called as locules. And ovary walls, here they can see red colored part. And placenta is inside the part. And seed you can see, I think seed is much inside the ovule, and much inside the locule, means it's below the locule. And ovary is the ovary wall is the outer part, and placenta is inside, that attaches the ovule to the walls of the ovary. Okay, so here we can see a definite structure of the placenta. And now coming to next topic, that is inflorescence and placentation. Inflorescence in this the inflorescence, this is the inflorescence, that is the mode of arrangement of flowers on the axil of a leaf. That is axil of the leaf, these are the axil of the leaf, dark green colored. And there means sometimes the flower are singly, either means sometimes the flower are arranged going out from the axil of the leaves of different leaves and reaching the same level, making a cluster. Here you can see a cluster like shape often we see in this type of arrangement. And in this type of arrangement, this is a singly either at the apex of the main stem or at the terminal apex of the lateral branches, means terminal apex of the lateral branches is the main type of structure we can see here. And then in the axil of the leaves, it is in the axil of the leaf, we can see it is the part. Okay, so in the axil of the leaf sometimes it is attached. So okay, and now coming towards the end of the video, we can see but I think I forgot to mention one part, that is corolla. I think I forgot to mention. Yes, Corolla is a part of the flower where petals are in a single whorl, but sometimes they are double whorled. Okay, and we can see like in this flower also petals are in a single whorl, but sometimes they are made in double whorl. Petals may be free, that is polypetalous or knitted or gamopetalous, and that is a petunia flower. This is an example of a funnel shaped corolla. Okay, and there means there are three types of corolla: free petals, petals fused in tabular form, and funnel shaped, that is petals are fused. So it is an example of means fused petals, and it is forming a thick structure. Okay, and that is a petunia flower. Now, hence ending the topic. So I think you understand. I'm reversing the image so that you can see, everyone can see how the main parts of a flower are there, and you can just pause the video and can see every part. Okay, and so bye bye guys, see you in the next video of our channel Study with Buddy, and subscribe our please subscribe our channel. Now you will not face the delay of the videos, and please subscribe our channel and hit the like button please everyone. Thank you so much.